I went through years and years of unprofitability and studying hours and hours of ICT's content to come across this one trading model. Now, I've used just about every single model in the book, but after 3 years of studying ICT's content, this is the model that I've landed on after perfecting multiple different things. This is the exact model that I've used in the last 6 months to get funded over $3 million and get over $30,000 in verified payouts. In this video, I'm going to break down the entire model from step A to Z and exactly how you can trade this model the same way that I do.
So this video is going to be a full breakdown of my exact model that I trade every single day, how I traded this on Friday to make over $3,000 and pass over $150,000 worth of challenges. So now added another $150,000 to my funded portfolio through just this one trade. Now I trade the PO3, so trading the daily and the 4-hour PO3 mainly. What I like to do is I focus on a higher time frame narrative and then build a lower time frame framework based off of that. Now, the first thing that's required in building a higher time frame narrative is obviously looking at the economic calendar. This is how I start every single morning. For Friday, you can see the economic calendar shows me that we have news at 8:30 a.m., which is high impact. And then we also have high impact news at 10 a.m. Now I know that these two volatility drivers are going to significantly affect price. The 8:30 a.m. can be used as a manipulation leg, and the 10 a.m. can also be used as a manipulation leg because we have a brand new 4-hour open. So now that I know that we have two volatility drivers at 8:30 and 10, I can now drop down to the actual charts and start figuring out a narrative. Now, building a narrative for me always starts off on a daily time frame, no matter what the day is. And you can see here that we are pulling into a daily fair value gap. You can also see that the same imbalance on ES is significantly lower in this range. So we can assume that we will have some bullish SMT here at these lows. Now, why are we using this fair value gap and not the lower one and not the one directly above it? Because this one is simply the one that lies in discount. So if you take the leg from this low to the high and you mark that out, you'll see that this fair value gap is within the discount of this range. So now that we have that marked out, and you can also see that this fair value gap has not been rebalanced yet because we left a breakaway here and Thursday closed just above the fair value gap. Now, based on that price action and the economic calendar alone, I can assume that Friday is going to open up, consolidate, and the 8:30 a.m. news is going to manipulate through these lows into this fair value gap and then get a move higher. That move is confirmed by the SMT that we're going to put in at these lows. So now that we have the overall higher time frame narrative down, let's drop down to an intraday time frame and see what happens during Asia and London. Now, Asia starts at 2000 and ends at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And so we mark out the entire range that Asia is going to be trading, and we will see what happens to this daily candle. So here you go. The daily candle opens up. We want to see a consolidation through Asia, which will set us up for a New York reversal potentially. So you can see that Asia has not done anything crazy. We have put in a very, very small wick so far on the daily. We did not manipulate into any higher time frame PD array at all. But what's important here is this Asia high and the Asia low. So we're going to mark both of those out. Once we have Asia marked out, we want to go ahead and mark out London, which is from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. And what we want to see is London stay within this Asia high and low range, because that will set us up for a New York reversal profile, which is what we want to see because of the 8:30 a.m. news driver. So you can see we put in this new low in Asia. London holds that low and also stays below the high of Asia. Now, all this is doing is setting us up for a New York reversal profile. So we have this clear sell side liquidity low with the fair value gap under it. And so we want to see a manipulation through here into that daily fair value gap, which is exactly what we see right here. ES gets the same thing, but again, you want to see that ES is nowhere near that fair value gap and NQ is inside of it. So now that we've established we have SMT at these lows and we also have a higher time frame PD array that was purged, we now want to see a change in state of delivery on the aligned time frame, which in this case will be the 5-minute. A change in state of delivery is going to take place once we close above the first candle in this set of down close candles. You can see that happen right there. So now we have confirmed a change in state of delivery. This pullback into the change in state of delivery level is where exactly I got my entries, and we have a stop loss at the new nearest swing low under this new order block we formed. You can clearly see on the right hand side this daily candle has a large enough wick now to consider this a manipulation leg. So this is setting us up for a open low high close daily candle. Now as for the target, I'm going to head back to the daily time frame really quickly, and you can see that we have a daily breaker block right here, and this is going to be what I use for my target. You can also pair the PO3 with standard deviations. And if we take the standard deviation projections and mark them out, you can clearly see that the -2 and -2.5, which is the first expansion range, is going to end right at the breaker. So that is exactly where we target. And now we can begin this market maker buy model back to the upside. Now it's important to note that the wicks do the damage in every single candle, not the bodies. The bodies are going to tell you the story. Similarly to what happened with this news candle here, you can see we had a large wick down that did the damage, but the body itself closed green. Same story here. You can see the wicks go into this order block, but the bodies respect and close higher. Now, as we begin to get a move higher, I want to focus your attention to the right-hand side where you have a 4-hour. We're going to get a new 4-hour at 10 a.m., which is in the next two candles. So right there, you can see we have a brand new 4-hour candle. Now, not only do we have a fair value gap that is immediately below that on the 5-minute, but we also have this same fair value gap, as you can see, on the 15-minute. Additionally, this lower wick here is not enough to be considered a manipulation stage. So what I want to see is some sort of a consolidation here, and then a manipulation into this 15-minute and 5-minute BISI, and then another move out of here to the highs. Now that's exactly what happens right here. You can see this 5-minute candle pulls into the 5-minute and the 15-minute fair value gap and puts in a wick on the 4-hour. The aligned time frame for a 15-minute PDRA is a 1-minute, where we want to see another market maker buy model. So at this point, I would drop down to a 1-minute to get some more entries for my longs. Again, I'm looking for the same exact model. I want to see SMT within a PDRA, and then I want to see a change in state of delivery. Now this imbalance on NASDAQ lines up with this imbalance on ES. So you can see we obviously have SMT at the lows, which confirms another bullish market maker buy model. So we've established we have SMT at the lows, we have a higher time frame PDRA, and now we just need to see a change in state of delivery, which we get on this candle here. Now that we have the change in state of delivery, this can actually act as another entry. So you would add to the existing position that you already hold here. Now heading back over to the 5-minute to manage this trade, you can see we get another push higher. The first expansion target is going to be this -2 standard deviation. So this is where we would take partials, move your stop to break even. We reach that expansion target and start to consolidate a little bit here. One thing I want to focus your attention to is this order block that has remained untested. So if we make a move down after getting this -2 level, we would want to see it hold this order block. Otherwise, we're going to see another change in state of delivery, but this time it'll be from bullish to bearish. Price pulls into the order block. So at this point, my stop loss would be just below the order block, which is exactly where it was. And I want to see a move higher into this daily breaker and this -2.5 level up here. And as you can see, that's exactly what we get. And before you know it, the trade is fully complete. This specific trade was an 8.3R, which is I was able to add on some risk. And because of the additional entries up here, I was able to secure over a $3,000 gain. And this is the exact way that I use to trade every single day. The exact strategy that has gotten me funded over $3 million. And the exact strategy that's gotten me paid out over $30,000 in just the last 6 months.